Hey everyone, so today I want to talk to you about the idea of what defines a gamer. Now, you'll see up here that there are three specific types of gamers that I want to touch upon, those being casual gamers, core gamers, and then, well, the hardcore gamers. And it's really interesting when we talk about what defines a gamer because there doesn't seem to be a universally agreed upon definition for what this exactly means. There are some people that say that casual gamers make up the majority of gamers. There are other people that'll say that core gamers make up the majority of gamers. There are people that say that that casual gamers prefer things to be simplified, and that has led to the simplification of the gaming industry. And then you'll also see people say that hardcore players are only the gamers that are the most extreme competitive fans in the world, the most extreme side of video games. And I don't know that this is accurate, but maybe it is. Like, here's the problem. There really is no set definition. These are completely made up terms by the gaming community and those that examine the gaming community. And as such, there seems to be many different definitions. Now, I based the definitions that I might be using here on Wikipedia. I understand that there's also Urban Dictionary, and Urban Dictionary seems to have like 20 different definitions for each. None of them seem to agree. So even like the one, oh, this is the top voted one. That's great, but then all the other definitions listed don't match up. So here's my thing. I'm going to stick with Wikipedia, even though it's also fan curated, because these definitions have not been altered for many, many years. These definitions, I think, are a good basis for talking about the idea of categorizing gamers into different categories. And then I want to end by talking about if it really matters and if you guys should even care. And then where does a gaming enthusiast fit in the mix? Does that fit with one of these definitions? So first, let's just go over the basis of each one. It's very simple at its core, at least based on Wikipedia. So according to Wikipedia, a casual gamer is simply someone who just occasionally plays video games. They generally do not own specific gaming platforms, or if they do, they're only playing games that appeal to a lower common denominator of people, like think like Just Dance or Nintendogs, Brain Age, oversimplified games, or even if you don't think they're simple games, they're at least games that don't appeal to what most people consider to be a traditional core gamer. They're more so games that exist just to have fun in short little bursts, and yeah, that's really it. You just play them whenever you feel like it, and what it does end by saying is that gaming is not their number one priority when it comes to, say, their entertainment spectrum. Maybe they're more of a sports fan. Maybe they're really into music and stuff like that. So gaming is something they do, but it's very occasional. It's not what they would consider a priority in their life. Now, a core gamer is what they define as the group of people that actually make up the majority of the video game industry. These are people that do play a lot of games. They play a wide variety of games potentially, or one game a lot. And they might get a little bit competitive, but in general, they're not super, super competitive when it comes to things. As an example, maybe they really play a lot of Splatoon 2, like I have done, but they don't really necessarily care about getting S rank, right? Or getting X rank, as it were. They just play and have fun. They play ranked matches, and the chips fall where they may lie, and they're not really dedicated to becoming the best gamer possible in the individual game. They just play a lot of games. They play them often. They consider themselves a gamer, and these people would make up what is considered the wide mass majority of the video game industry. Then you have the hardcore gamers. And how Wikipedia defines it is essentially hardcore gamers are the most competitive of gamers. They do care about getting those X ranks. They do care about being the best of the best at whatever they play. Whether it's a wide variety of games or just a handful of games, they want to be the best. And they often know everything and anything there is to know about a given particular game because that is what is needed to become the best. Now, it's very interesting because I personally don't know that any of these definitions fits me. If any of them does, it's probably core gamer. But then there's other times that hardcore gamer fits as well. As an example, I would argue I'm a hardcore Zelda fan. I have played every single game in the series. It is my favorite franchise of all time. Many of them I played through several times. I've spent thousands upon thousands of hours. I ran dedicated fan sites related to it. This entire YouTube channel exists because of it. I'm obviously a massive Zelda fan, and I know pretty much everything about the history and the lore and everything that can be known, at least from a factual standpoint. And then I even know a whole bunch of fan theories on top, and I've even created some of my own in the past. But as much as I consider myself a hardcore Zelda fan and a hardcore Zelda player, do I fit the definition of a hardcore thing? Do I care? Do I get competitive? Do I speed run the games? Do I get competitive and saying, "Oh my gosh, I've 100% of this game and you haven't"? Like, no, I don't care. I don't care if I've completed something in a game that someone else hasn't, or if they've completed something else in the Zelda game that I haven't. So it's interesting to me when we talk about these definitions, because my argument is essentially these don't matter. These exist to segregate the gaming audience. They're a generalized way to try to group different people together that might not always fit nice and neatly into a set group. Now, I admit there is a difference between, say a competitive gamer versus a non-competitive gamer, but I don't necessarily mean that we have to use terms like core gamer and hardcore and casual, because as an example, casual gamer has become a term of a way to put people down. As an example, this one hits close to home. I've been called the casual Pokemon fan. And admittedly, that's probably a fitting definition. I casually pay attention to the Pokemon franchise. I was a big hardcore fan of it. I'd definitely argue I did the competitive scene. Like, I was a hardcore fan of Pokemon during Generation 1 and Generation 2, and even with the first generation and second generation of the trading card game. But then I fell off. There were things that happened with the trading card game when Wizards of the Coast sold it. There were things that happened with the Pokemon franchise as it got past Silver and Gold and into some other games, Diamond and Pearl and Black and White and all that stuff, that I just didn't like the changes being made. So I stopped playing. I didn't go and scream to the mountaintops that they need to make the games cater to me. I just said, look, they're going a certain way with the game. It doesn't appeal to me. I'm just going to let it go. And that might make you sound like I'm not a hardcore fan, because a hardcore fan usually doesn't let it go. But I just realized that there were so many other games I was enjoying. What's the point of complaining about the one franchise going in a direction that I don't really want it to go in? So my thing is a casual definition is probably a good definition for me as a Pokemon fan. I've still paid attention to Pokemon the last, 15, 18 years. I just don't know everything. I didn't deep dive into the games. I tried a bunch of the games, ended up not enjoying them. And now I'm really interested in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, which is, by Masuda's own admission, a casualized Pokemon experience. It is dumbing down Pokemon from what it's been, oversimplifying things for many people, and I'm finding myself really attracted to that kind of experience because I don't like complexities in my Pokemon games. That's just not the way I am. I don't like overly complex Pokemon games. And I understand you might argue that Pokemon's not overly complex and you can still play it casually, and you're 100% correct in that regard. But I'm someone, this is what's weird about me. I'm someone, when it comes to Pokemon, I get hardcore about it when I play it, but if it's so complex it's going to eat thousands and thousands of hours of my life to master it and get up to the level of people that have been playing it for 15 years, I just don't want to do it. Whereas Pokemon Go, or Pokemon Let's Go in this case, is overly simplified to the point that I can master it in a much shorter amount of time. So I'm going to be a hardcore Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee player. I'm going to be a hardcore player of that game. I'm going to try to master all the mechanics and be one of the best players in the world at that game. I'm probably going to fail in my quest to do it, but I'm going to try. And it's like, so am I casual because I'm into that? Are you casual if you're a Just Dance player and you want to try to become the best Just Dance player in the entire world, and you spend, oodles of your life doing it and maybe even compete competitively? My thing is, I hate these definitions. I think that in general, we should be allowed to self-identify what we are. And I don't think we should use it as a way to hold over people. I argue, in many cases, I am a Nintendo enthusiast. I am a video game enthusiast. Yes, I play a bunch of games. Yes, I get really competitive in certain games. And yes, I care a lot more about certain franchises than others. But I also enjoy the wide gambit of gaming, right? And I enjoy everything from going from what some people consider super hardcore games like The Witcher 3 or Dark Souls, all the way down to things like Just Dance and Brain Age and Kirby. The recent Kirby game that came out this year got a lot of flack from people. Yeah, maybe, even for me, maybe I don't think it was worth the price they charged. But I still think it's a really fun and great game that I have a lot of fun with, and me and my kids have a lot of fun with. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I enjoy such a wide variety of games, from sports titles to first-person shooters, to RPGs, to JRPGs, to action-adventure games, to puzzle games like Puyo Puyo Tetris. Like, I enjoy such a wide gambit of content. I don't really fit a definition. And it's weird because I feel like this is true of me in general in life. How do people want to, like, you guys out there, you might define me as a Nintendo fanboy. You might define me as a gamer. You might define me as a YouTube content creator. Whatever. All of that's based around what I do here on YouTube, what I do in live streams and all that stuff. But do you know how big of a sports fan I am? Do you know how much I enjoy playing sports? Do you know how much I love playing board games? Do you know how much I love to read? Like, there's all these other aspects of my life that you know nothing about. Do you know how much I like to go out to, clubbing and dancing and stuff like that? Like, there's so many aspects of my life that don't really feel like they go together typically in the way that people think, right? Like, you're a major gamer and a sports fan, fine, that's possible. But you're a major gamer and a sports fan, and you like musicals, and you're a band and choir geek, and you also enjoy going to movies, and you enjoy reading comics, and you enjoy reading fiction. You enjoy watching Lifetime Movie Network. Like, you enjoy going for runs. You enjoy, I used to enjoy going for runs. It's a little iffy right now. You enjoy board games. Like, there's so much aspect. Like, I basically can find a way to get along with any human on the planet, because I guarantee there is something that person does or enjoys that I also enjoy. And it's such a weird thing because I'm into so much different stuff, and that's the way I am with gaming. Like, how do you, like, you might call me a casual for one thing, but a hardcore for another, and a core gamer for another, and a hardcore for this, and a casual for that. And why are we using these definitions? Like, it's something I want to see changed in this industry as it grows up and as we grow up. I'm, I guess, already fully grown, but as you guys, so maybe the younger generation coming up, as you guys grow as well, I want to start throwing out these definitions, because I feel like the definition of hardcore gamer, core gamer, casual gamer, and everything in between, even gaming enthusiast, are terms people are using to either puff out their chest and talk about, I am an amazing, look at me, oh, and being like, I am a hardcore gamer, you can't touch me, or to degrade people like casual gaming, or even like people who mock hardcore gamers. Like, or people get mad at the core gaming audience because they are simplifying games and dumbing down games for them, or whatever people spew out there. I want to tear down the barriers that this creates. All of this is just a giant barrier. Let's tear down the barriers, start to respect the differences that exist between us. Respect that all of us are into gaming for different reasons and want something different out of our games. Doesn't mean you can't be critical of a game. Doesn't mean you can't be praising of a game for doing things you like. But other people might not like those things that you like and might like something different. This is the case of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but this conversation goes well beyond just a single game. This affects the entire video game industry, and I feel like we use these terms as a way to justify or unjustify or vilify or destroy people, and I want that to go away. I know toxicity in gaming is never going to be completely eliminated, but I feel like putting people into these categories is just another way of segregating and separating gaming, and I don't think we should be doing that. I'm not saying we're all the same. We're all different. We're all individuals, but that's the entire point I am making here. Core gamer, casual gamer, hardcore gamer. You're going to find varying definitions of it. You might have your own definition of it that disagrees with Wikipedia and Urban Dictionary. But ultimately, that's because none of us really fit exactly into these definitions. All of us enjoy gaming for a different reason. And at the end of the day, all that matters is that we enjoy and love what we're doing here as gamers. Anyways, folks, you guys let me know what you think about the segregation of gaming toxicity. how much of a role these categories of casual core and hardcore play in it. Maybe you want to tell me your definitions. I don't know. Let's have this giant conversation down in the comments below. Anyways, folks, I'm Nathaniel Rofagans from Nintendo Prime, and if you like this video, you know what to do, and if you dislike the video, hit that dislike button, subscribe for more content, and I'll catch all of you guys in the next one.
Yes.